Wow, I am shockingly entertained. I'll tell you why. Because I got to watch three of the awesomest movies I have ever seen. I mean, I've seen better movies before in the past, but these three really top it very, really good. Hi, I'm Awesome Joe, and I'm here to do another episode of Playback to Back. I'm doing three films, and just to give you a fair warning that these are on DVD, so I might be throwing in a few spoilers, so just in case if you haven't watched these movies, go ahead and stop this video and watch those movies, come back to my video, watch, and if you have any questions, comments, complaints, or concerns, go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section down below, and we can have an awesome conversation regarding towards these movies or any movies that you would like. And just to put on the fact note is that if you have any requests as to any in particular movie you'd like for me to review for you guys, go ahead and leave a comment for those too, and I'll be more than happy to do it for you guys. So let's go ahead and get started here. First off, we have A Monster Calls. If you guys don't know what A Monster Calls is, because it's not a very huge movie that really marketed it out there for people to go and watch, it made very little money, but the ratings and critics gave this a really good rating. And I personally, after having to watch it, I loved this movie. So let's go ahead and say that this movie is directed by J.A. Bayona, and it stars Louis McDougall, who's playing Connor O'Malley. And Connor O'Malley is a child who is going through a lot right now, especially for a child, because his mother, played by Felicity Jones, she's going through a cancer right now, and she's on the terms of having to go through so many different procedures that none of them are succeeding. So that's what puts Connor O'Malley in a predicament. Not only is he dealing with that, but he's also dealing with the lifestyle between his father and his grandmother, and of course a bully in school. And if you're a child who ever has gone through any of those type of issues, which I'm pretty sure one of those in particular issues almost every child has gone through, you can understand where this child is coming from, especially from the very root of it all is basing it towards the fact of him losing his mother to the cancer. So not only do we have Felicity Jones playing the mother, but we also have Sigourney Weaver, very famous, talented actress, as we all know, back from the 70s, 60s times. And then we also have Toby Kebbell, very awesome actor. He plays the dad, and he's been in a lot of movies very recently. He's becoming very noticed for what great talent he has, and he shows it a lot in this movie. So credits on to him for that. And then not only for the monster himself is being played by voice talent of Liam Neeson. He did a splendid job playing the voice talent into the Chronicles of Narnia, playing the lion, Aslan. And he did incredibly well with this movie too. You can not only tell that it is Liam Neeson who's doing the voice work, but he does an amazing performance as the monster. So I'm very happy that these selected people are in this incredible cast of an incredible movie. So Connor O'Malley going through so much that he's going through with him being a child and having to find out where he's going to be in life, and going through these troubled times with his mother. There's a moment to where he stumbles across a time of his life where he comes across the monster, because he lives in a farm valley, and across that valley there is a cathedral, and right next to the cathedral there's this very large tree which transforms into this large tree-like monster. And we've seen this before. We've seen a tree-like character in, of course, like Guardians of the Galaxy, or The Lord of the Rings, The Never-Ending Story, so on and so forth. So this isn't the first time we've seen a tree-like creature character in a movie, but this character, the monster, he plays a very significant role, and there's a reason to his existence in this movie. And with him having to approach this child in his life during troubled times, he presents himself into having to explain to him that he is there to explain or tell three individual stories in different times in different of certain days, and there's a reason why he explains and tells these stories to Connor O'Malley, because not only are they just stories, but they are also stories that are relating to him and what he's going through. So it is a lifelong lesson as to preparing him for what's to come. Because once when his mother passes, he needs to heal from all that. He would become a very lost individual and not knowing where to go to. So in a sense, the monster is giving him the guidance. But and this is where the spoiler comes in, because once when the mother dies, it is explained at the end of the movie that this monster is not just an imaginary creature only based off of the mind of Connor O'Malley's head, because Connor O'Malley and his mother, they both have a very significance to each other as to being great artists. They love to draw, they love to paint, and so on and so forth. That's where the monster comes into existence. So the monster having to be brought forth into Connor O'Malley's life is actually a messenger from the mother. The mother actually grew up with this monster. It's an imaginary character that she actually grew up with, that she created when she was her son's age. So he comes in, and he's the character who is guiding him into becoming a well-prepared individual for the worst to come into his life. So he can't go with his father because his father lives in America. He doesn't like to live with his grandmother because him and his grandmother don't really have a connection bond. So what is there to do? So that's where the monster comes into the picture and tells these stories to explain to him that there's good, there's bad, but none of them can be one or the other. All of them, everyone, any type of person always meets in the middle. You can't be good, you can't be bad, everyone is in the middle. Everyone has a certain reason as to why we do good things. There's a certain reason why we do bad things. It doesn't matter. What matters is that no matter what, we always go back to the middle. So there's no judgments. So, but this is a great movie. I really love this movie. I would recommend you guys to go and watch this, because I knew for a fact that I wasn't gonna like it, but I judged too early. I watched this movie, I was entertained by the whole thing, and I know that you will guys be too if you go watch A Monster Calls. So on Rotten Tomatoes, they rated A Monster Calls an 88%, and my ratings towards this movie is an 8.1 out of 10. So that's a very good rating. I was really, really happy about this movie existing. It's a great movie. I would love to buy it when I find it out in stores. Right now it's just a rented movie from the library, and I'm very happy that I got the chance to watch it, because it will become a part of my movie collection, and I hope it will be yours too. So that's my ratings. If you have a different rating for that, comment in the section down below and let me know, because this is a great movie, and I would really love it if you guys love this movie too, because it was just great. I'm very happy about it. So let's go ahead and jump into the next movie, you guys. Up next, we have The Light Between Oceans. And The Light Between Oceans is directed by Derek Krenfrentz, and it stars Michael Fassbender, Alicia Vikander, Rachel Weisz, and Brian Brown. And this movie, I saw the trailer for it, just like how I saw the trailer for A Monster Calls, and I loved the trailers. I really did. I watched it and it gained my interest. I wanted to watch this movie so badly that once when I found it laying on the shelf, I knew I had to watch it. And just in case if you guys don't know what it is, it's a movie starring Michael Fassbender who lives on an isolated island and has a lighthouse. And of course, what they use for lighthouses is to have a certain guidance for the ships out at sea, just in case if they ever get lost. That's what the whole purpose of a lighthouse is. So that's pretty much his job. And then once when he goes onto the mainland, he meets a fellow female played by Alicia Vikander, and she's a very attractive actress. And not only is she just attractive, she's a very talented actress too. I'm not very familiar with her work, but having to see the type of job that she did in this movie, she did a great job. And within the first 30 minutes, it's pretty much a telling of their beginning, of how they interact, they meet, the certain resemblance that they have with each other. They get to write to one another. I mean, that was their Facebook nowadays, was they write letters to each other, send it off, wait for the reply back, and so on and so forth. And then after that, of course, they get married, and when they get married, they try to start a family by conceiving children. But along down the line, it does get more complicated. I mean, that's just how life is. Life gets pretty complicated down the road after Happily Ever After. But there's much more to the story as it is, because when they start trying to conceive, we find out that Alicia Vikander's character cannot bear any children. She has one child. She's pregnant with one child, loses that one, and then she has a second child. She loses that one as well. So it's a very complicated time for these two, having to raise children together. So when they lose their second child, there actually comes a sound out into the distance of the ocean, and Michael Fassbender sees that there is a dinghy. A dinghy is like a little small boat out in the ocean, and it stumbles across their shore. They actually not only find a dead man in the ship, but they find a little small baby. And you would think that if you were a faithful person, you would think that this is a sign from God. You lost one child, you lost a second child, but then out of nowhere, here comes this baby in a boat. It's like, like a stork knocking on your door with your delivery baby. That's how these two took it. So they come to the decision as to wanting to take in this child as their own. And since they can't bear their own children, they might as well just keep this one and not even bother having to report it to the authorities, letting them know that this child belongs to somebody, and just say that, oh, hey, we didn't lose the second child. We gave birth to this one. This is our baby girl. The baby's name became Lucy. And so they make this child as their own. They go back to the mainlands. They introduce the baby to both their families. They baptize her. They introduce her to the family, and so on and so forth. So, and that keeps these two, they keep it a secret to themselves, not having to tell anyone about it. They bury the dead body. They send the dinghy back into sea. So there's no sign. There's no fatal evidence as to this baby ever existing out into the ocean, that this is actually their blood-related child. And so Michael Fassbender's character, he's a very closed-in character. He doesn't really, he's not a very social person. He keeps things to himself. He's a very quiet individual. So when he is bared with this secret, it's actually killing him inside, because not only is he loving this child as his own daughter, but it's also killing him knowing that that is not his own child. It's not killing Alicia Vikander's character, no, because she wanted this child. She's suffering the loss of her first and second child, that she wanted this baby to be her own. So that's what she did. She took her in as her own. So she doesn't really bear any regrets towards the whole thing, but Michael Fassbender does. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this video for right now, to be continued. If you want to watch the remainder of my review, Towards the Light Between Oceans, and then plus the third movie that I'm going to review, go ahead and click on Playback to Back movie review part 2. And that one will continue on with the movie reviews that I'll be reviewing towards these 3 films. So thank you so much for watching. Continue watching. Thank you very much. Subscribe, please, if you love my videos. Even if not, forward it over to your friends. If you have any questions, comments, complaints, or concerns, please leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll be more than happy to reply to you and do a video for you guys. So please continue on with the next video. See you then.